Hello, Choro-Q collectors. So I just want to show you these images. These are Choro's version of the N-One Honda, but these are from the old Zero line. So there seems to be 4 colorways. White racing, pink racing, yellow racing. Oh no, there's more. There's 5. White, red, and I think I saw blue. Yeah, so 6 different colors, but Choro's doesn't release anymore in the Zero line, but they went and took the casting and put it out in this Q's line. So Q's has these posing frames where you could pose the wheels, very much like this cartoon here. This is number QS-15, and A means the color, which in this case means yellow. I guess that must be the artist of this drawing. Good for you, Setosio. Alright. This is new packaging. I've never seen this packaging before. It seems big. Oh, it's because it's got like a diorama inside of it. Interesting. Let's see what the rest of this box says, though. Polystyrene, PVC, and ABS. Is there a date? You know, dates are really helpful when you buy old things. You know how knowing the value of things. Doesn't seem to have a date that I can tell. It is licensed by Honda themselves. A few other models from the Q's lines. They're just regurgitating the bodies from the Zero lines with the new frame. Some sort of member club thing, and just cardboard. Alright, so you could actually have kind of a protected diorama like this, but it seems kind of silly to do that for me. I kind of prefer the old packaging, it's less wasteful. But I don't know. Is this worth it, doing that? Is that worth that extra box? I don't know. I kind of wish they were just like Hot Wheels. Just a blister pack, you know, on a piece of cardboard, so it's less wasteful. Well, you do have these staggering colors. It's interesting. The actual colors are ramped. See? They actually ramped them to get those colors on there. Interesting way to do it. Alright, so I was never able to get the Zero because people want a lot of money for it, and there's only so much I'm willing to pay for anything, really. So let's try to just set these to look normal. Alright, so let's just go over the body. So it is nice yellow, it's not metallic though. And then it's got this nice tampo printing of this like blue checkerboard thing. The 13 looks pretty nice, it's even getting into that panel gap. Fuel filler door is okay. The handles here are nice, they have some finger recesses above and below. Honda Racing, nice and legible. So the molding, oh, this might even have a separate window piece. Yeah, looks like it, right? See the yellow? They didn't paint enough black. So I think the window is a separate piece. The printing up here is very, very well done. You know, it's a tampo print. It's not a decal, it's not a sticker, so it's literally paint. This looks good as well. Nice thin line around the 13. The headlights are just silver. The Honda badge looks good. It's actually raised as well. It's got some height to it. They printed on a toe ring, so that's interesting. Nice detail in the grille, and just a different yellow license plate. I kind of wish they would print things here, like Q's or N-One or Honda or something, right? Go on this side, no fuel filler. Something went wrong with the panel gap there, but the printing looks good. The taillights are nicely done in red and silver. The panel gaps look good here. We do have a nice badge on the back of that trunk. I'm trying to focus on it. I think you can read N-One, yeah, very good. Then you have the Honda badge here raised as well, and then yeah, that looks alright. And then a sticker, not a tampo print, a sticker on the back of this thing. This is a coin holder. You put a coin in here and you'll do a wheelie if it had a motor. But that's the problem. Q's don't have motors. Q's are just posing vehicles. They don't actually move like a regular Choro-Q. So I wish they got rid of these things because they really detract from the look of the toy. having just a giant rectangle on the back of something, right? It's kind of weird. So as you can see, we have a screw holding the front and this tab in the back, and the production dial. This is made in June of 2024. The Q's line there tells you what the car is, where it's made, and then Tomy is the brand. And now you can see the ball joints here, ball pegs here for these axles, so you can put them up, down, and a little bit of front and back, right? So that's interesting doing that. That's yeah, I've never supposed a car that way. That's well, with the front I guess it could be steering, but I've never seen a rear tire doing that. Not intentionally, but you can do it. So let's see what it looks like totally slammed. That's some crazy JDM camber. Yeah. The problem also with this brand is the tires just don't look realistic. You know, they have a little curvature, but it's not like a balloon. And then you can just see how sharp edged it is. It almost looks like they took a roll of rubber and just cut it with a knife, right? Very slab-sided. The older tires they did were better. It's weird, you know, the older ones are better design. So, yeah. So when you, especially when you're doing this like camber stuff, it's just, if that was a rounded side, you know, a little bit of curvature like a real tire instead of this sharp, almost 90-degree corner, it would look a lot better, I think. Well, anyways, you can obviously slam it to the ground. Let's, wow, I feel like this has more posability than the other Qs I got. I'm gonna have to pull out the another Qs and see, because I don't remember ever being able to do something like that. Now it's like the DeLorean. Oh wow, I wish they would be smart to take their DeLorean and do this to it, because it would be like the flying DeLorean in the second movie of Back to the Future, right? And these wheels coincidentally look kind of like thrusters. Alright, so this is definitely a new level of posability that I have never seen before. I don't know if they've changed it. We'll get to it. I'll just continue posing just to show. So that it can look normal, right? You can squeeze it down a little just to give it a lowered stance, or just go insane like that. But or one low, one high, and then it's zipping around a corner. This one's turning a little bit. Maybe that's also doing that. That is just crazy looking. So then if you put this thing here, right? That is a very extreme turning there. I guess I'll need to put it on here then, right? So it's cool, you know, definitely more playability, I think, than the wind-up motor. Because these things are, frankly, I think, too expensive to be winding up and smashing into walls and chipping all the paint off. So it's good that they do this, but I wish they would come up with a new base. This is new. This is not a standard Choro-Q base. They should just get rid of this rectangle here. I mean, I guess they would have to keep some of this to keep the tab there, but they don't have to have this obnoxious rectangle blocking off so much of the casting. Alright, well, let's get some other toys out. So I pulled out the older, well, the first Q's releases, or the earlier ones, and you can clearly see the base is wider, and that wider base is what allows less movement, you know? The tire and wheel are literally colliding with it. So I guess this is a good improvement that they did, you know, making it narrower, because you can just pose it in such insane positions. And yet you can still fit in all the text and all that stuff. So that's what's going on there. So I just have it in a normal pose, since most of the other cars we're going to look at are normal posing vehicles. So here's a N360 by Choro-Q, but I 3D printed my own wheels. I think this may have come with some soap or something. Well, anyhow. So this is a Honda Today Mini Pato. And I have some poster putty mounting some Real Riders kind of Hot Wheels things going. This has an opening trunk gimmick, but there's nothing in there, so it's kind of a worthless gimmick. Put that over there. Here's an old one. This is the Honda City Turbo, and it's got a nice race livery here. CRT City number 99. Okay, from the episode 1 set. I think there are 3 of these in that set, just all the same mold, just different colors. So that's probably the closest thing to this. Okay. Then we have something called the N Plus box. This is all faded because I bought it used. Someone probably left this in front of a window. It's by Takara Arts, T-Arts, which I believe is actually a Tomy company. But it also says Landwell on it. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, they probably own the brand Chums. And then here's another one of these Qs, and this is the Honda City R. Okay, and it's still got the wide base, so it doesn't have the cool posing, but it does have nice wheels specific to this car, which is something this car doesn't have. All the other Qs I've had, they have the wheels specific to the model of the real vehicle in real life, but these are just generic standard Choro-Q wheels, so that's kind of weak. You know, this should have the same wheels that this car has in real life, but it doesn't. That's a first. All the other ones I think have much better detailed wheels, so that's a letdown. Alright, and then I have to show this brand. These are tiny Qs, and they're superior to Choro-Q in every way. They have a steering, you know, you can steer the front end. This has a metal base if that matters to you. But it has treads, right? Not that I care about that, but the sides don't look like truck tires. All this, look at all this tampo printing. There's a lot of paint going on in this thing. But more realistic are the headlights. They're literally clear lenses with painted chromed buckets behind them. They have mirrors. And then they don't have a giant rectangle blocking the rear of the thing. They do have painted taillights, but so do Choro-Qs. Nice exhaust tip there. They're just better, and they're cheaper. This thing was significantly cheaper than this Qs. So you can even buy these directly off the Tiny Q website, and they'll still be cheaper than any Choro-Q, which is clearly inferior in its detailing, I think. Alright, yeah, so the nice thing is they're still all relatively the same size. There's nothing too glaringly obvious as far as being too big or too small. Alright, so I was trying to rip around that turn there. This came with some other F1 one's cartooned car. I forget which one, I apologize. I guess it's not a good fit. So it's nice that there's an improvement to the Q sign. You can clearly pose it a lot better than before. I'm not sure if I need this little accessory prop. It just makes the product more expensive. And again, I'm not sure if I need that box that it came in, because that's already in the trash barrel ready to pollute the world. So I kind of wish they would just stop with the gimmicks and stuff and just give you the toy. And they really do need to catch up or provide a better product when it comes to comparing against like Tiny Q, for instance. So if you're new to collecting cartoon cars, I would suggest you just start with Tiny Qs. There aren't that many castings, and then once you're done buying those, you know, go to Choro-Q or maybe even that newer cartooned diecast brand. So yeah, overpriced, but still pretty neat, I think. And one nice thing is that the printing on this is overall pretty good. No major defects, no major blemishes. It's just some weird design choices with the box on the back end to do wheelies when the thing has no motor. Thank you for watching. We'll see you the next time we do a Choro-Q.